The Hytale team decided to drop even more information on Twitter about the beta, release dates, and new game features after the blog post to fuel our hype for Hytale and its eventual release. But first, we need to know who this man is that's tweeting all of this. John Hendricks is the game director for Hytale, meaning if there's anyone that knows about the game, it's definitely him. Let's start with the biggest news in years, being the mention of the beta. If you remember, at the end of the Hytale announcement trailer, we were left with the message, register for the beta, which was done on their official website. Not much information was given about the beta, or even when it would happen. There was one blog post in 2018, the same day that the trailer released, saying you can register for the waiting list right now, in fact. Keep an eye out on our website and social media for more information about upcoming tests. Well, we've kept an open eye out for close to 5 years now, and finally got word on what we could come to expect from the beta. John was asked whether the beta testing will be open or closed, to which he replied saying that he finds both an important part of the process. What can we take away from this? There will likely be both an open and a closed beta in the near future. What does a closed beta entail though? Will this be a select group of people, such as large content creators, or those that signed up through the website? Through the Riot Games acquisition, we learned that there were over 2.5 million users that signed up to the beta. I would imagine they would need a lot of server space to account for all of these potential players. In the last blog post, the major news was that Hytale has started conducting external playtests. A Twitter user asked John if that meant the game is near, where he said that playtests are an important part of development at all stages, many more to come. To which the user replied saying that the answer sounds like the game is still far away, where John replied saying, all things are relative. If I'm hinting at anything, it's that we have work left to do, and I'm not the one to answer questions around dates. An oddly cryptic message if you ask me. There was another tweet where he replied with a very similar statement, saying that the development is coming along smoothly and deadlines are being hit, followed once again with him saying that he is not the one to talk about dates. What we can make out for sure is that whatever plans they have set, they are efficiently getting closer to them, and if we find out a beta or a release date, it will not be from him. Another clue that leads me to believe this is their most recent job opening. The team is looking for a QA director, which stands for quality assurance. Their role is to test the game and make sure everything is running as intended without any glitches or bugs. We once again hear about Hytale testing the game and refining its details. Could this mean they're nearing the end of their work cycle and are ready to push it out to the public? The biggest complaint towards Hytale is that it's taking forever to release. They said that they were redeveloping the engine as well as the systems around it, and it makes people worry that they're trying to make the game more than perfect and thus keep pushing the release date back. If you didn't know, Hytale was acquired by Riot Games, the creators of League of Legends and Valorant. This gives the developers a high standard for their end product, but in a recent tweet, John assures that perfect is the enemy of good. They focus far more on being ready than being perfect. This means that whatever their idea for Hytale is at release is the version they are looking to build. He also confirmed that the game will have updates over time. It lets them get the game out sooner and makes sure that the community will be a part of that. Community creations are a big part of Hytale's future. With the model maker, live scripting, as well as community servers, the players will be the ones forming the landscape of Hytale after release. But with community creations comes a threat to other players, with modders wanting to insert malicious code for others to download. I'm sure a lot of us here remember downloading a Minecraft mod from the sketchiest websites, and sometimes even needing to completely reset our hard drives. I know I did that when I was young. John reassures us that they're aware of this, and they're looking to provide safeguard measures to protect the player base from malicious content. Another thing John teases is that we may not need to wait until 2024 for more news. In the Littlewood put out a tweet after the blog post joking that Hytale only gives us one blog post a year, in which John replies saying that we could be seeing news sooner rather than later. There are a lot of other news in his tweets that I'm gonna rapid fire here. In regards to console support, also comes controller support. He can't tell us specifics on which consoles the game will be on, but allowing controller support is an important step in making the game cross-platform. And speaking of cross-platform, it's now officially confirmed that the game will be on mobile devices. We have been able to assume this through specific wordings and their job postings, but it's good to see him outright confirm the suspicion. We got a sneak peek into their cross-platform development as a company by the name of The Forge has been revealed to be working on Hytale to help make everything compatible. They've worked on projects such as No Man's Sky and Starfield, which means they are a reputable and capable team working working on Hytale. Someone on Twitter talked about how they would love to make a review for Hytale when it comes out, and to consider him for a creator early access, if it exists. To which John replied, agreeing that creator engagement is a very important thing. Is he hinting there may be a creator early access? Would this be the closed beta we talked about earlier? Diagonal fences. Do I need to say more? The next feature is something my good friend and a co-host of the Hytale podcast, Canadian Flash, will be a fan of, namely rideable animals. The discussion started asking if the swampy Mosshorn could be tameable and consequently rideable. John's response? I always vote everything rideable. Could that mean we could see rideable raptors, krakens, or even humans? And speaking of the Kraken, it was shown in a very old concept art originally, and someone was wondering if these concept arts hold up today. And he replied saying that they're a mix of things being considered for Orbis as well as ideas being explored from a creative perspective. This statement alone diminishes most fan theories based off these concept arts, as they may not even be in the game. We received new concept art in the new blog post that is a lot more accurate to the modern version of Hytale, an Outlander trudging through the snow, as well as a Farron, which usually resides in the deserts of Zone 2, wearing a winter garment. He teased that this Farron is putting in maximum effort to get somewhere. This could lead to a multitude of fan theories on the story and the reasoning behind this. We know about the numerous zones and biomes within the game, but we also see a large ocean in this concept art of Orbis. John confirms that this is not necessarily an accurate depiction of the planet, and if you were to try to navigate around, you will certainly get lost. But if you wanted to make the entire planet underwater, he confirms that the players will have full freedom to customize the world to their likings, including the possibility of submerging every ecosystem. As you can see, the developers are not only hard at work, but are also very active on social media and sharing information about the game. So, if you want to stay informed about everything Hytale related, hit the subscribe button so you're the first to know when news comes out.